My name is Laura. I am 34 years old. 3 years ago, I lost two people on the same day. My husband and my best friend. The strange thing is, I did not see it coming. I was not a careless wife. I was not a distant friend. I believed I was careful. I believed I was kind. But sometimes, betrayal does not knock loudly. It walks quietly into your house. It sits at your table. It smiles in your photos. Her name was Emily, and she was my friend. I met Emily when I was 26 years old. We worked in the same marketing office. I remember the first day we spoke. The printer was not working and we both needed it at the same time. We laughed about it and started talking. Emily was confident. She spoke easily to everyone. She dressed beautifully and walked like she owned the room. I was different. I was quiet. I observed people before trusting them. I did not open my heart quickly. But with Emily, it felt natural. Within weeks, we were eating lunch together every day. Within months, we were sharing secrets. She told me about her childhood. Her parents divorced when she was young. She said she hated being alone. I told her about my fear of losing people. My father had died when I was 18. Since then, I was afraid of abandonment. We understood each other's weaknesses, or at least I thought we did. 2 years later, I met Daniel. He was not loud, he was not charming like other men, but he was calm, stable, safe. On our third date, he told me he believed marriage was forever. He said loyalty was the most important thing in life. I remember going home that night and calling Emily. "I think I met someone serious," I said. She screamed with excitement. "Finally," she said. "Finally, someone worthy of you." They talked easily. She laughed at his dry jokes. He respected her intelligence. I felt proud introducing them. The three of us became comfortable together. But looking back now, I remember small things I ignored. When I got promoted at work, Emily smiled, but her eyes did not. She always asked about Daniel, how much he made, where we traveled, what gifts he bought me. At the time, I thought she was just interested. Now I know she was measuring, comparing, wanting. When Daniel proposed 1 year later, Emily cried harder than I did. On my wedding day, she held my bouquet while I adjusted my dress. She whispered, "You deserve this happiness." I believed her, but during our first dance, I caught her watching, not smiling, not celebrating, just watching. Her eyes followed Daniel across the room. I told myself I was imagining it. After the wedding, life felt calm. Daniel worked in finance, long hours, structured days. I continued in marketing, busy but flexible. We were not rich, but we had peace. On weekends, we invited Emily over. Sometimes we cooked together. Sometimes we watched movies. She said she still hadn't found the right man. "Maybe I am too independent," she joked. Daniel would say, "You will find someone." I noticed she stopped dating after my engagement. She said she was too busy with work. But now I wonder, maybe she had already chosen someone. My someone. The first small change was so small that I almost ignored it. Emily started coming over when I was still at work. At first, it made sense. She lived nearby. Daniel sometimes worked from home. Talking to him about work, I told myself. One evening, I came home earlier than usual. I had a headache and wanted to rest. When I opened the door, I heard laughter from the living room. Emily's laughter. It surprised me. I walked in. They were sitting on the sofa, not too close, not touching, just talking. They both looked slightly surprised. "Oh, you're home early," Emily said quickly. Daniel stood up. How was your day? Everything looked normal, but something felt off. Not wrong, just different. I ignored it. After that, Emily's visits increased. Sometimes she brought dessert. Sometimes she said she needed advice about work. Daniel was always kind to Emily. He listened carefully. He gave practical advice. I told myself this was good. It meant my husband was supportive. But small details began to bother me. Emily started dressing differently when she visited. More fitted clothes, more perfume, more makeup. She laughed more at Daniel's jokes than she used to. Once I saw her lightly touch his arm while speaking. It was nothing, but it was not nothing. When I mentioned it to Daniel, he smiled. Laura, she's your best friend. Don't be paranoid. The word paranoid stayed in my mind. Was I imagining it? I began doubting my own feelings. One night, we went out for dinner. The restaurant was busy. Warm lights, soft music. Halfway through the meal, I went to the restroom. When I returned, they were sitting closer than before. They moved apart slightly when they saw me. Maybe it was accidental. Maybe it was not. I watched them more carefully after that. Whispers, shared glances, small silences. When I entered the room, conversation stopped. I asked Daniel directly one night, "Is there something going on between you and Emily?" He looked shocked. "How can you even think that? She's your best friend." He looked hurt. I felt guilty. I apologized, but my heart did not relax. 2 weeks before I discovered everything, we celebrated my birthday. Emily gave me a beautiful silver necklace. The card said, "For my best friend, always." I hugged her. "Thank you," I said. "It's perfect." Daniel gave me perfume. Expensive. In a blue bottle. I noticed immediately. It was the same perfume Emily had started wearing. The exact same one. "That's a coincidence," I said lightly. Daniel looked uncomfortable for just a second. Then he smiled. "I guess we have similar taste." At the time, I thought it was strange. Now I know they had gone shopping together while choosing my birthday gift. They were already sleeping together. They picked out my presents while betraying me. The truth revealed itself on a rainy Thursday afternoon. My meeting was canceled unexpectedly. I decided to surprise Daniel with his favorite coffee. When I opened the front door, the house was silent. No TV, no music, just quiet. I walked upstairs slowly. Our bedroom door was closed. I heard a soft whisper, then silence. My heart began beating so loudly I could hear it. I opened the door. Emily was near the window, adjusting her blouse. Her hair was messy, her lipstick smudged. Daniel was standing beside the bed, shirtless. His face went white when he saw me. On our bed, the bed I made that morning, the sheets were wrinkled, pillows on the floor. You do not need to see everything to understand everything. I did not scream. I did not throw anything. I simply asked, "How long?" Emily began crying immediately. "It just happened," she said. Daniel could not look at me. "It was not planned," he whispered. My hands felt cold. "How long?" I repeated. Daniel's voice was barely a whisper. 3 months. 3 months of secrets. 3 months of her texting while I cooked dinner. 3 months of her touching him while I was at work. 3 months of inside jokes I was not part of. 3 months of me asking, "Is something wrong?" And him saying, "You are imagining things." 3 months of lies at my own table. They tried to explain. They said it started with emotional support. Emily felt lonely. Daniel felt stressed. They talked. They connected. They crossed a line one night when I was on a business trip. It was a mistake, Daniel said. Mistake? A mistake is forgetting keys. A mistake is sending the wrong email. This was a choice. Many choices. Every time she came to my house. Every time he lied about where he was. Every time they looked at each other and I pretended not to notice. Choices. That night, Emily left our house in tears. Daniel stayed. He cried. He begged. He said he loved me. But something inside me had already changed. It was not only about betrayal, it was about trust. If it were another woman, maybe I could fight. But this was my best friend. The woman who knew my fears. The woman who held my hand at my wedding. The woman who knew I was afraid of abandonment. She did not just betray me. She studied my life and then stepped into it. She knew exactly where to hurt me. And she did it anyway. The next morning, we sat in silence at the kitchen table. Daniel looked broken. I will fix this, he said. How? I asked calmly. He had no answer. Love without loyalty is empty. And loyalty, once broken, is difficult to rebuild. I packed a small suitcase, not because I had nowhere to go, but because I needed space. I moved into a small apartment near my office. The first night was painful, but it was honest. No pretending. No whispers behind my back. Just silence. Emily tried calling me many times. I did not answer. Weeks later, she sent a message. I never meant to hurt you. I read that sentence again and again. Some people say they never mean to hurt you, but they still do things that destroy you. Intention doesn't erase damage. She never meant to hurt me, but she chose to sleep with my husband. She chose to come to my house. She chose to smile at my face while lying to me. She chose everything except honesty. That night, Daniel asked to meet me one last time. We sat in a quiet cafe. He looked thinner, tired. I ended everything with her. I want us back, he said. I looked at him carefully. Why? You did not lose me in one moment. I said calmly. You lost me every time you chose silence instead of honesty. Every time you made me feel crazy for noticing. Every time you said I was paranoid, you lost me. Then he cried. But I felt calm. Sometimes calm means the love is already gone. 3 months later, I filed for divorce. It was not dramatic. It was paperwork, signatures, quiet tears. Emily moved to another city. Daniel tried to contact me for a while. Eventually, he stopped. Life continued. Healing was slow. For a long time, I blamed myself. Was I not attentive enough? Was I too busy with work? Was I not beautiful enough? But slowly, I understood something important. Betrayal is not caused by the victim. It's chosen by the betrayer. Today, 3 years later, I am different. Stronger, wiser, more careful with trust. People ask me what hurt more, losing my husband or losing my best friend. The truth? Losing my friend. Because I expected loyalty from my husband. But I believed my friend was safe. I believed she would protect my heart. Instead, she broke it. Last month, I heard Emily got engaged. Someone sent me the photo. She was wearing white, smiling at the camera, ring on her finger. For a moment, I felt something. Not anger, not sadness, just pity. Because I know what she's capable of. And one day, her fiancé will know too. Betrayal is not something you do once. It's who you are. Some people don't change. They just find new victims. But here's what I learned. Not everyone who stands beside you is standing for you. Sometimes the person clapping the loudest at your wedding is quietly wishing for your place. Sometimes the friend who knows all your fears is the one who uses them against you. She was my friend, but losing her taught me something powerful. I can survive betrayal. I can rebuild alone. And I can choose better people next time because rust is precious, and I will never give it blindly again. Some people are not losses, they are lessons. She was my friend, and now she's my lesson. Thank you for listening to this story. If it touched your heart, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to Classical English Stories channel. Your support helps more stories reach people like you. With every story, our English gets better, and our hearts get stronger.